Welcome back to another edition of That Time When. I am Matt Miller. This is the podcast series where I take you through the archive of Trekzone, catching you up on things that you might have missed if you're new to the channel, or maybe something that you want to catch again if you've been around for a little while. You might have missed this one. A good way to not miss things is to ring the notification bell on YouTube. That'll send you an alert, pop-up notification whenever I release new content. On this episode, we're diving into the visual effects of the Orville from 2019.
This is Trekzone's That Time When. And you can get exclusive behind-the-scenes info and first play access to all Trekzone podcasts by becoming a member today. Click join on every Trekzone video on YouTube. Go to the trek.zone/support or scan the QR code on screen throughout the show.
Welcome to the show. Today, I thought we'd branch out a little and touch base on the other exciting weekly space adventure show on television. It is, of course, the Orville, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by one of the visual effects team, Nat Fong Tran from Pixamondo. Thanks for having a conversation today, Nat.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Now, each week, the Orville is taking us to new places and meeting new aliens. How do you, as the visual effects team, approach designing, creating, and animating all the different scenes you're called on to do every week?
So there's like two main components that we try to find like a good balance of. Like one is the realism, which is based on physics pretty much. But then the other part is like, what is the story point that we or Seth or Luke McDonald, who's the production supervisor on the show, what do we want to tell? And together with Matt McClure, who led the previous team at Pixamondo, there were like those creative challenges of how do we visually tell as part of that different alien environment to tell the story that we want to tell, like what kind of race is it, or what happened to the planet before, and that we have to balance with, does it physically make sense, or is it like too like imaginary?
Well, and it's not just space shots either, is it? Kalon heads, for example, Yuffet, the gelatinous engineer, even the simulator, they're all shots that need effects. Are they a lot easier to create these days with CGI and templates compared to, Star Trek, for example?
Yeah, like computational power, of course, has allowed us to achieve many of the effects that used to be really difficult and would have taken months to do within like days or hours. But the part that has still remained a challenge is just the creative part, and to have a creative dialogue and conversation with everyone to make sure that we are presenting the visuals how they're supposed to be narrated.
What's the lead time like on the show? Obviously, the Orville goes out every week on Fox, so these episodes have to be created really quickly. But how much time do you get given to make all of, to create all of these effects?
So for the first few episodes of the season, we had a much longer schedule for the episodes. Like we started with like almost like 2.5 months for one episode, which was great. But then towards like the mid-season, it pretty much broke down. Like within like 5 to 6 weeks, we have to have like roughly around 100 shots. That was our average generated.
What's the feeling at Pixamondo about working on the Orville?
I personally have been really excited to have been working on the show, and my team feels just the same way, because we have a good amount of Star Trek fans in our team, and I personally grew up with Star Trek as well. So Orville, of course, is not in the same universe, but in my opinion, it captures some of the like more important philosophical questions that Star Trek kind of like raised. and just like questions about like humanity and morale and so on, which I thought was really nice. So like working on the show as visual effects artists and developers, it was very refreshing to see that the Orville was not aimed to be like that gigantic like Hollywood blockbuster action production, but that it more captures the look and the feel of some of the original Star Trek series, and I think it was just a very honest way to have a show designed. Yeah, and as part of the whole show, like we went on adventures to explore different alien worlds, different alien races, and different just battles and challenges.